Pink Floyd fan and classic rock and things like that. Pink Floyd, yeah. If I'm doing orchestrals, like movie soundtracks, I'm big into like John Williams, Star Wars soundtrack, or Jurassic Park, and all that. Just big sounding music. If it's like electronic music, it's like Dead Mouse, that kind of thing, kind of progressive trance and things like that I really like. So depends on what I'm doing. I do a lot of different styles.
Oh, the different styles thing. Yeah, for starting as classical as classical as for like Beethoven and Bach, and moving up to like Miles Davis and. Oh yeah, and my biggest influence that extends across everyone is Stuart Copeland, and I don't know if you know who he is. He's the drummer for The Police, and he also did the soundtrack for the original Spyro the Dragon trilogy.
Whoa!
So, and from there, extrapolate with people such as the Foo Fighters, Nine Inch Nails, and for lighter stuff. For lighter stuff, more like Jethro Tull and Journey and Pink Floyd, and for the heavier stuff, more like Between the Buried and Me and stuff like that.
Can I just say one thing?
I should have been gone.
Indeed. There we go.
Are you influenced by the epic sax guy?
I don't know. A mic put in my hair.
Are you influenced by the epic sax guy?
No. No. Obviously, you start out with a pure, steady diet of like jazz and blues, and nothing else. So that was really it for a long time, and I, for the longest time, thought I was like, oh, that's the best kind of music. Oh, there's no other better kind. And then I realized that I was being an idiot. So yeah, it was all based on that, entire sound, just pure jazz, blues, like Ronnie Huber, Charlie Parker, Coltrane, the big guys. It wasn't until like later on in high school I started getting into like Streetlight Manifesto and other like ska punk. And that comes in handy when I'm playing on sets like Brony mics or those are the people that I play with. Like him, like ska punk is okay. Like where's that shirt, man? The ska punk shirt. I need it.
I don't know where Alex is. He should be like in the audience.
Apparently he's a jerk right now.
Yeah, he's
Because your shirt.
the shirt that you were wearing, it says jerk on it. Yes.
Oh.
That's it.
All right. Like with Don, it depends on what kind of music I'm writing. If I'm writing like rock music, a lot of it is influenced by classic rock bands like Pink Floyd, Led Zeppelin, the Beatles. When I was younger and I first started getting into music, I thought that was the only kind of good music, and then I kind of grew up, my taste expanded. I love classic rock, but even earlier than that, Raffi and Fred Penner, really thinking back to it, I love them. And then as a teenager, I got really into the punk rock scene with bands like Black Flag, Oi Polloi, Minor Threat, the Bad Brains, Beastie Boys. Actually, for those of you who don't know, listen to Pollywag Stew by Beastie Boys. Beastie Boys started off as a hardcore punk band. And then it just snowballed, and now as like I got older and more mature, I expanded my musical taste as much as I possibly can, so I listen to pretty much every kind of music that I can. I'm constantly on a search for new music. And I'll pass it off to this guy, because him and I have good discussions, like showing each other obscure punk and metal bands.
We would talk for hours on Skype about different types of metal and stuff.
I guess my biggest influence in terms of writing music and actually getting into recording music on my own is a Swedish metal band called Bathory. And
another band I need to look up.
Oh wow, you haven't heard Bathory? Dude, I'm so disappointed in you. Bathory was pretty much just a one-man show. The lead singer's name was a guy named Korthon. Obviously that wasn't his real name. But he was pretty much the mastermind behind Bathory. So it was either he would write and record everything all by himself and do everything himself, or he would hire people to do other instruments for him, or sometimes it was a whole band, but like the lineup would constantly change with each album. But he was always the mastermind behind it. And also just the way he recorded the albums, I've heard like he would rent out a used car garage in the middle of Sweden and just take this little tape recorder and this little 8-track mixer and record all these songs in this little basement garage and then release them on this independent label that he owned. So when I heard all these stories and I listened to all these Bathory albums that really moved me emotionally, and I found out he recorded under such horrible, crappy conditions. I was like, wow, I want to get in on that. So I downloaded a copy of Audacity, which is the worst recording software you could possibly use.
I'm still using it. It is my only program. You are wrong.
And I started recording music in my mom's bedroom. And
Didn't we all?
well, the computer was in her bedroom. I didn't have a computer at that time. So yeah, one of my biggest influences is definitely Bathory. I suggest you look them up. They're pretty awesome.
Cool.
When it comes to metal, I definitely have to say Dream Theater is probably my biggest influence.
Yeah!
John Young is like my idol when it comes to playing bass. So
Everyone says she looks like John Wayne.
I also am really into like newer power metal bands like Nightwish, Within Temptation, and yeah, that's pretty much it when I'm writing metal. I also write like a lot of like punk rock and rock, and I'm really into classical as well. So
You just got a double bass, didn't you?
yeah.
Yes.
So-
Oh my
it's not a
gosh,
cello.
I'm so jealous of it. I've seen pictures of it. I want her double bass.
You guys don't even understand how many times my double bass has been called a cello, and it is like it annoys me so much. At this point.
All right. You with the flat stuff in the flat. Yes.
Hey, Spike. Sorry, quickly. To make this easier, shouldn't we have people just line up?
Yeah, I think we just have people line up. This will be much easier. So start a line for questions if you guys want, but starting from over there so you don't block the camera. So ask your question, and as you're asking it, people can start lining up.
Yes.
Yeah, do it over there.
Okay, yeah, that's much better. So what is your question?
Okay, I was hoping each one of you guys could sing like one or two lines from this day.
This day was going to be perfect. The kind of day which I dreamed since I was small. Everybody will gather around, settle nothing on God. What they don't know is that I am for them all.
Oh, you guys can be so bad at us.
I had my head with a rose. The blood would go well with my hoop. Wait, that's not the one.
That's the wrong.
That's not the line.
That's the only one I know. I don't know where we are. So.
If I live here tomorrow.
No brainer. Let it go. Let it go.
Somebody once told me the world is gonna roll me. I ain't the sharpest tool in the shed.
She was looking kinda dumb with her finger and her thumb in the shape of an L on the forehead. You just start telling me that as much as I love this song, we should really get back to
I don't think that's actually what she asked for.
guys. Questions. This is seriously what all of our staff Skype are like. Next question, please. Yes, you.
Yes, this is for Equestrian Lawrence. Do you know each other locally, or do you have to deal, or how do you deal with having an internet connected with an internet between the members?
Well, we do live pretty close.
Yeah, we both live here, so
Well, you live
I live
here in
in Richmond.
Richmond. I live
Yeah.
in Coquitlam. So it is quite a bit of a commute, but we usually go to like New Westminster or someplace to jam at an actual rehearsal studio. So
Fancy.
we do keep pretty connected.
I'm still using Audacity.
Also, I have a band too. Of course, the Cutie Barks, my band. Our drummer couldn't make it up because he had to work and stuff. But yeah, we practice in Seattle all the time. We get together. We're kind of like Equestrian Lawrence. We're one of the unique bands in the fandom that actually can get together in real life and play together.
Yeah.
And that's kind of cool. So yeah, we do that at least once a week and get to jam and play all these cons. So it's pretty
Cool, thank you.
Thank you. Next question.
Does it have to be about music or?
You can ask him anything you want. As long, yeah.
We're all goofy. We don't
We
care.
actually prefer if it's not about music.
Yeah, we talk all the time about music.
Let's just keep it clean,
We do like
please.
to talk about
Who's your favorite villain from the show?
Oh.
Y'all will go left to right.
My opinion is so unpopular. You guys are gonna hate it.
I think Diamond Tiara is the most monstrous villain from the show. For favorite, I really think T-Rex was pretty awesome. So I'm gonna go with him for now.
Well, it's kind of generic, but I really am a huge fan of Chaos, so I think Discord is probably the best one, even though it's not
Honestly, for me, I know it's totally Changeling themed, but Queen Chrysalis and the Changelings are definitely my favorite villains.
Whoa!
For me, it's a tie between Discord because it's John Delancey, and second of all, Queen Chrysalis because of mainly because of This Day aria and her reprise. So I like that.
Discord. It's a tie between Chrissy and Nightmare Moon.
Long live the eternal night of Nightmare Moon.
Nightmare Moon and also Angel Bunny.
Well played. I'm really having trouble choosing a villain because I love Discord because he's just a prankster and trickster and enjoys having fun. He's like, but I guess he's not the villain anymore. Queen Chrysalis and the Changelings because honestly, I think like the concept of them is the most terrifying thing. Yeah. Just like you don't even know who's among you is a changeling. Like, But then I also love Nightmare Moon because she came back to be Princess Luna, and it really represents how everybody has that dark side of them that they don't want to admit to, but everybody has it, and they have to learn how to deal with it. So that's why I really love the concept of Luna and Nightmare Moon.
Wow, that's deep, man. Yeah. See, I chose two just because they remind me of villains from other movies. First one is T-Rex.
Yeah.
T-Rex, because he totally reminds me of Tim Curry from Legend, which is one of the best movies.
Oh,
I don't know if you guys have seen that, but he played Satan in this movie called Legend. And he had this amazing makeup, like red makeup with these giant plasticine horns. It was incredible. Go watch Legend. And
let me start with some all the things you're referring to.
The other one,
Keep it PG.
the other one, you guys are gonna hate this. King Sombra. Oh, yes.
Who?
King Sombra, because he reminds me of the Horned King from the Black Cauldron.
Oh, yes.
Which is one of my favorite Disney movies. So.
He kind of reminds me of Smoke Monster from Lost.
From what?
Smoke Monster from Lost.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna have to put another vote into Nightmare Moon. She is by far my favorite.
All right.
T-Rex reminds me of Vegeta.
Next question. I am supporting my local Brony.
Yes.
Even though I'm from Edmonton.
I was actually in Edmonton last weekend. So
Why didn't you say hello?
Hello. So
Okay.
my name's Gary, and I'm in other bands locally, just not Brony bands, just metal bands and stuff like that.
Okay.
But I've got an interesting kind of question, a little more on the technical side, and I'm actually curious to hear from you guys on the electronic side. What's your writing and recording process like? Like I know on a rock band side, a lot of us use stuff like Guitar Pro, or maybe we sit down with Pro Tools, and I've heard stuff like Cubase and stuff like that. Like, do you sit down and write lyrics first? Do you you're going to start with some music and then put lyrics in after and try and shoehorn them in? Like, just kind of like how do you guys have different approaches to how you write stuff?
Starting from left again, Brony Mike. Brony Mike. Okay.
I'm on the electronic side.
Oh no, do you want just the electronic guys? Or do you want all of us?
I think all of you guys.
Okay.
I take someone else's song, I speed it up slightly, I get like a click track down, and I just record silly instruments over and over until I have about like more track layers than Audacity can handle, and then I start a new track level and I try and then I record my voice about 80 times so it balances out to almost sound like it's on key. Okay.
Oh wait.
God.
And then I hit compress and I hit reverb and then I export it to MP3.
Yeah, well, I use Reaper for recording, and what I usually do is I'll make beats first. It's kind of a separate process, the beats and the lyrics. I'll just go in and try to make a beat that sounds cool so that I'll have something when I write some lyrics, because I find if I write them without a beat, it's really hard to put them onto a beat and have it flow for a complex style of rap. I have done it sometimes, but mostly I take a beat and then I will record a freestyle demo that's kind of just gibberish so I can get the flow rather than the words. And once I've got an idea of how I want the flow to go, I'll sort of write words over top of it so that it makes sense. And I just sort of mix and produce in Reaper. I'm not really an expert producer, but I think I do well enough.
Whoa!
Way to
go.
Here comes the drop.
For me, I just sample Skrillex.
Reminds me of my style.
But no, actually, I use FL Studio as my main production software. And I actually start by trying to model the most... Nico, stop it.
I want to get through as many questions as possible. Let's keep on track, guys. I wish I had my harmonica to play the train sound when the train gets derailed.
Yeah. I try and model like the most, I don't know, like growly sounding basses and chop them up and add in like blazer sounds and stuff like that. Just
Pew pew pew.
yeah,
Step salad.
exactly. And then air horns. You know what? I need to do that. There we go. That's my new song. But yeah, I start with basses first, then beats, and then I try and incorporate some melodies into it all, and it's really messy.
Face roll.
Yeah. Wait. Sorry to waste time. Something I just realized. An alicorn has wings and a horn. That could technically be called an air horn. This best air horn.
Silver, if you're watching this, that is
Brony,
you.
You win.
All right. Nice. Very nice. That was great. My process, I have a big variety of processes I use, but 9 out of the 10 times I would just pick up my guitar and just strum random progressions, strum very weird progressions or whatever, and then simultaneously I try to write lyrics with that. And then when that gets going, I too use Reaper, and I go layer by layer. I do everything on my music, so I usually go guitar, bass, drums. Bass and drums could switch sometimes, and then finally vocals, and then backing vocals, and any other extra instruments or vocal sounds I make. And however, when it comes to my instrumental music, my electroacoustic music, if you heard that term before, I just go crazy and just throw everything in and make it work.
And with me,
With your $1,800 VFX computer.
okay, pretty much for how I make music, you're looking at my production studio. This is what I use. I only use a laptop, and I use a program called Ableton Live. I don't really have a set way of making a song. Usually, if I get an idea, I record it into my iPhone, just kind of humming it, and then I import it in later. I also use a bunch of VSTs. Mainly Massive, Silent.
Nexus?
No Nexus. I can't use Nexus.
I use Nexus.
My computer can't.
I can tell.
Nexus, even though it's new. Yeah, and like, I don't really have a rhythm to how I make the song. Lyrics. If I'm doing lyrics in a song, I tend to write them after the backing track is done, and after I have it all mastered out. Because usually, if you're collaborating with other artists, it's easier to have them to have a backing track, and then you send it off to them. You give them the time where they need to start singing, give them the lyrics. Sometimes it works out that the vocalist will do the writing of the lyrics. Sometimes it's the other way around. So it really depends on how you go about it.
Yeah, with electronic music, usually I start out with a chord progression and figure out what chords I want to play, and then bass line. Typically, the kind of like electronic music I do is like so the drum part's pretty easy, and then creating layers of other drum loops to kind of build on that. If I'm writing like rock songs, it's always guitar, piano. Lately, I've been really into this. So that's the best way to make dubstep right there is A free app. It's called the Skrill Pack on this particular thing. But yeah, usually chords, bass, drums, and go from there. Lyrics are kind of the hardest thing for me.
Well, I pretty much do it just like they did, like trial through the ages, only now modern, because we have computers that can do all the writing music theory for us, technically. So I start out with one track, just one basic square wave, one track, and I record all of the melody. I track it with MIDI. And usually my music has weird time signatures, weird meters, so I want to get the melody completely done. So after I have the melody entirely done and I have all the tempo changes and all the meter changes scattered throughout the song, all finalized, then I build my drum track off of that. And so it starts with building just one, like, imagine
John, it's your fault.
Okay. So it's like writing sheet music. It's like writing sheet music only with a MIDI track. I use Reaper 4, and I just use like a Fama tracker just to get a square wave. After building all that, after having a good drum set, that's it. I don't even need a metronome because I built my drum set, and then I start recording layering tracks, guitars, bass, and instruments. And then from there, I record vocals on top of everything, mix those in, and that's how I make my song. Essentially, make the chiptune version of the song before you make this version of the song that you want to make.
I don't want to offend anyone, so I'll use this mic. I don't actually know what lyrics are because they don't apply. My process for writing music is someone on the other side of the country writes a song, and then they contact me on Skype and they say, do you want to put a saxophone track on the song? And I say yes, and then they send it to me. I put it in GarageBand on my dad's iMac, and I record over it, and then I export it, and I send it to them. Also, there's usually a point of like procrastination that can last anywhere from 2 days to 3 years.
3 years and counting?
And counting, unfortunately. Sorry, Tarby.
Well, for me, usually I'll just like grab my acoustic guitar or just my electric guitar unplugged and I'll like start strumming some chords and see what sounds good, and I'll just keep doing that, and then maybe I'll like think of a song that I want to write and try to apply lyrics to it. The first thing is with my guitar and just trying to think of lyrics. After I've got all that down and I've got like the idea in my head, like I'll be just like driving, I'll be at work, I'll just be thinking of what the song is going to sound like when it's finished. I will get to that. What I record with is a program called Studio One. And when I record my... Studio, okay. It's the one. Yes. Yes. You guys are distracting me.
Sorry.
No, you're not. Does that make sense?
This is playback.
I use Studio One, and when I record my guitar amps, I mic my guitar amps. Like a lot of guys who use guitar rig and do it that way. I prefer to actually mic the guitar because then I get the tone of the guitar amp. And I'll do that with my bass. I record my bass amp directly. I'll usually record guitar first, and then maybe bass, and last is vocals or drums, depending on how it's switched. And when I record drums, I don't know how to program a drum machine. So I literally hook my electric drum set up to my computer, like cables draped everywhere all over my room, and get it done like that. So I play actual drums on all of my tracks.
My songwriting process is kind of all over the place. First of all, I'm always writing lyrics, like constantly. I'll constantly be writing stuff down on a napkin. Like, I have no idea if this is going to turn into a song, but at least I have it. And in terms of like coming up with riffs and stuff, I'll either be just sitting down with my guitar, or if I'm on the computer and I'm too lazy to pick up my guitar, I'll just go into my recording software, Logic Pro, which is a Mac exclusive, kind of like Mac exclusive Pro Tools, only way easier. And I'll just go to like a MIDI guitar track and I'll just fiddle around in the piano roll window, kind of just click notes in until I have a riff that kind of sounds good. Then I'll kind of build around that, and then I'll record all the drums. The drums are usually what I do first. I program all the drums by hand. I have separate MIDI tracks for each drum, bass drum, kick drum, tom, snare, all that. And I actually go into the piano roll window and I program all the hits in by hand. It takes me like a couple days to do that. I know. And recording guitar, I don't use any amps. I just plug into what's it called? A Scarlett USB, Scarlett 212, which is from Focusrite. And I just plug that in. I use this amp modeling software called Soft2. Has some really good metal amp guitar tones. And then we used to, on a couple of old songs, we used to actually go over to Cassie's house and have her record her bass, but now I usually just send her the song and she brings me the MP3 back of her bass. And then I record the vocals. I do a lot of flex editing to make sure the vocals are perfectly in time, but I try not to use auto-tune or anything like that. And yeah.
That would sound interesting.
Equestrian Lord of the This day is going to be perfect.
The final day.
I try to write original stuff. There's a couple, as much as I hate to admit
I got a text apparently.
As much as I hate to admit it, there are a couple early Equestrian Lord songs that are clear copies of other metal songs. Because they were written at a period where I was like, metal song plus pony lyrics equals pony metal song. So I try to stay away from that now and we try to write our own original songs.
I will also chime in quickly and say sometimes after I write a song, it's all done, I'm gonna record, I'm like, oh wait, this is almost exactly like this song.
Yeah.
And you don't even realize in the writing process, like you kind of just stole a song.
Alright, done that.
Yeah.
Great artists steal. That's true. Good artists borrow, great artists steal right out. Just steal that and you say it's yours.
It's true.
It's true.
I do it all the time.
Led Zeppelin.
When I write music, I don't usually have to do the entire song by myself. I'm usually working with someone else. So I would just pick up my guitar or my bass and just kind of noodle around and improvise until I kind of come up with something that sounds, neat or cool, and then I'll take a rough recording of that and send it off to whoever I'm working with, and maybe inspire them to, write something that goes with it and send it back, and we'll just keep building on that until we have the structured song. And when we have that, I would record the good take direct through Guitar Rig into Ableton, and just kind of send it off to whoever I'm working with, because I do not do that mixing stuff.
And that's all me.
That's all me.
Yay, another Ableton user.
Studio One for the win. Any questions? Any other questions?
Can I ask a quick one for Strach?
Yeah.
Oh man, why?
I don't get it.
My throat is so sore.
Yeah, we've got like an outdoor acoustic show after this, and I don't know if I'm gonna be able to sing because my throat is dead.
I should have brought my acoustic guitar.
Hey kids, we're gonna learn how to master.
I can't do it.
You can't do it. I can't do it very good. Your voice. Well, just try.
Mastering is just you hit compress and you hit reverb.
You use the sausage fattener.
I have no idea what's
It's a thing on the internet that is this guy.
Dad, 3 knobs is so complicated.
You sound identical to him.
I've been telling him that.
You made it. Right. I see a hand over there. Yes, what is your question?
What is your favorite city in Equestria?
Ooh. I like that he's formulated questions from left to right. Let's get quick. You have to keep an eye on our Twitter, Facebook, / social media, whatever. It should be released soon. As soon as we get all organized. And also, in about a half hour, we gotta go set up the acoustic show. So hopefully at 2 o'clock, we will be out there jamming with acoustic music.
I have a horse stomach.
Everybody shout a question at the same time. Go. Oh, I said shout a question, but okay, Equestria works too.
I was just hoping for
Equestria? All right, thanks for coming, guys. We do appreciate it.
I'm gonna do kazooz in 3, 2, 1, go.
I just got attacked by kazoos.